Number 3 on basic human rights. In the previous lectures, we studied about basic concepts of state and element of state, the function of state. Now, in this lecture, we are going to study the state and other association, like the state and civil society. So, in this lecture, we are going to study about what is meant by civil society and its relationship with state. Originally, the term civil society and a political society was used as coterminous. Coterminous means civil and political society were treated equal. Means there was no distinction, no difference between the civil society and political society. Later on, these two terms, that is, political society was made different and civil society made different. Now, here we are focusing much on the civil society. Now, the term the civil society was applied synonymously with the state. Now, but under the complex condition of the present day society, it is necessary to recognize the distinctive features of civil society. Means here we are going to study different features of civil society. Initially, the ancient Roman thinker, that is Marcus Tullius Cicero, of 106 to 43 BC, 106 to 43 before Christ, he very first time used the term civil society. Now, who? Roman thinker Marcus Tullius Cicero. He was during 106 to 43 BC. He first time used the concept civil society in the sense of state in the first century BC. According to his opinion, he used the civil society as a concept of state. He recommended or he commented about civil society, or he defined the civil society. That is, it is a society whose members, according to him, that is Marcus Cicero, the civil society is a society whose members live together as a citizen and abided by civil laws and lead a civilized, cultured and dignified life. So, the peoples are citizens, they follow the rules of the country and they live a civilized, a cultured and dignified life. What is meant by civilized, cultured and dignified life? See, there are two types of state. Take example. One, in a state where all working are done with the rules, and another state where absence of rule are there. Okay, take the example of India, where here in India we live on the constitutional laws. Means whatever the laws we have, all these laws are derived its power from the constitution. Many countries in the world where the laws are not utilizing for the benefit of the people. So it can be we can say that is uncivilized country, uncivilized state. Okay. Culture means the peoples are well cultured. Here, different culture peoples are living in peaceful and a dignified life. Dignified means whatever the peoples are living in India, all of them are getting honors. Okay, so we say everyone has a dignified life. So Marx Cicero mentioned about the civil society, and we seen what is the definition of civil society according to Marcus Cicero. Okay. Now, here we completed the concept of state. Now we are going to start a new concept, a very new concept, that is concept of equality. Equality is a very important concept. It has rooted, or we can find the history of concept of equality in the French Revolution. French Revolution which fought or which happened in 1789. And the basic or the famous slogan of the French Revolution was liberty, equality and fraternity. Liberty means every people are free to live his own life. Liberty means we get independence. Equality means every people, every citizens will treat equally. And fraternity, or we can say the brotherhood, means we have a strong and peaceful relations with our peoples. That is called as fraternity or brotherhood. Okay, so the concept of equality was given by the French Revolution. It happened in 1789. Similarly, in the American Civil War, the concept of equality became famous. Or we can say, in the American Civil War, the concept of equality was remain at the central at the struggle of freedom of American peoples. Okay, so this concept has a history which rooted in French Revolution and American Civil War. Now, when we talk about the French Revolution, they constitute the voice of oppressed. What is meant by voice of oppressed? Voice of oppressed means the peoples who are getting means their voice is not listened. The oppressed means the people, their voice is not listened by the government. Okay, so I am talking about the French Revolution. They constitute the voice of oppressed, the voice against injustice. Means when we say the equality, the people has the right to raise their voice against injustice. Suppose a person who is going to the market to purchase some vegetables, and some people who are trying to force him or her not to purchase any commodity or any vegetables from the market, then it will be called as injustice. Okay, so he can raise a voice against injustice. And the voice for changing unfair social conditions. Like I told you that unfair social condition means the peoples are restricted to travel, to enter in a public enter on a public places. So such kind of evil practices can be stopped by implementing the concept of equality. Okay. Now we already taken reference of American Civil War. Now, next point is equality as an idea of social change. Equality as an idea of social change. According to J.J. Rousseau, he is one of the famous European social and political and economic thinker. In his book named as Discourse on the Origin of Inequality, written in 1755, he drew important distinction between two types of inequality. Means Rousseau in his book Discourse on the Origin of Inequality, he mentioned about inequalities, two types of inequalities in social life. One is natural inequality and second one is conventional inequality. Natural inequality means, say example, if two peoples are born, one people having his all organs are well developed, and second people his maybe hand or maybe we can say divang. Okay, we can say the divang, or the term we use divang. It means that he has a short hand, he may have a short leg. So we say one person who has full developed lungs or full developed limbs, and another has only few limbs or part of body full developed. So there we can say it is a natural inequality. Men and women have a natural inequality, distinction between the men and women. So we find it is a natural inequality and conventional inequality. So we'll see into detail about the conventional and natural here. The natural or physical inequality. Here, a statement of fact that consists of the differences of age and health and body strength and qualities of mind and soul. Means we can we can make a distinction between the age, that is youngest, then children, Then we can say the octogenarian, the people having more than 60 years. So we can differentiate between the age. So this is called as natural or physical inequality. We also make a distinction between health inequality. Everyone has a different health capacity. So we can say inequality in health. Again, we can differentiate inequality basis on body strength. That is, a child has a different physical strength. A youngest person has a different physical strength. Octogenarian or senior citizen, or we can say the person who is above 60 years of age, has its own body strength, different body strength. So we can differentiate on that basis. So it is called as physical natural inequality. Okay. Similarly, we can make distinction between mind and soul. Okay. Now, the conventional inequality, on the other hand, consists of different privileges that some men enjoy to the exclusion of others. Like conventional inequality means here the rich and poor. We can define inequality in terms of wealth. Wealth means we can make inequalities basis on the wealth, like poor and rich. The poor having more money, the poor having less money, and the rich having more money. Okay, so by this way we can make differentiate between wealth. It is called as conventional inequality. Again, the prestige and powers. Okay, we say the person having more power is called as powerful. The common person has less power, so we can make a distinction between the distinction of inequality based on power. Okay, so it is called as conventional inequality. Now, so we'll see what are the different types of inequality. There are basically three types of inequality. One is formal equality, second one is equality of opportunity, and third one is equality of outcomes. We'll see into details different types of equality. The first is formal equality. So the very basic principle of formal equality is all individuals should be treated equally. That is, all individuals should be treated equally, or we can say all peoples of a country should be treated equally. In our Constitution of India, Article 14 of Fundamental Rights explain about equality before law. Equality before law means all peoples are equal before the law. So that articles give the formal equality. That articles is a type of formal equality. Here I have mentioned the principle of legal equality, that is equality before the law. The same principle we have followed or we have utilized in our Constitution's Article 14. According to this point of view, all individuals should be treated equally by the law. Means all people need to be treated equally by the law, irrespective of their caste. Means we cannot differentiate people on the basis of caste. We cannot differentiate people on the basis of race. Race means the person who belongs to upper class, the person who belongs to lower class. So we cannot do such race or distinction between the peoples. We cannot differentiate peoples on the basis of color, like white or black. Okay. So as recently everyone have seen the example of George Floyd, who died in USA, and he was killed by US, one of the police, that is white color police. That's so we cannot make a distinction between color race. Okay. Again, we cannot make any difference between basis on the gender. Means we cannot make the distinction based on whether he is a male, whether he is a female. Okay, we cannot make distinction. Like means if we need to implement a law, we need to treat all peoples equally. Means suppose a crime committed by male and a crime committed by female, both need to treat equally. Both need to treat equally. So here we cannot make difference that the crime made by the people by the male we can punish, and at the same time the same crime committed by the female we cannot punish her. So such kind of practices we cannot do here. So in this concept, gender and equality, we need to treat all men and women equally while implementing a law. Religion, we cannot implement or we cannot make distinctions or differences of equality with basis on the religion. Religion means peoples are living in say Hindu religion, Muslim religion, Christian. We cannot make a difference while implementing this principle, and we also cannot make social background as a basis for making difference in equality. So legal equality means we need to implement this concept equally, irrespective of their caste, race, color, gender, religion, and social background, and so on. Okay. While this was a welcome step in the fight against special privileges based on race, gender, social background, and other, this is a very welcome step for fighting against special privileges. In a history of India, many special privileges were provided to few sections of society. So by implementing this principle in the constitution, so these special privileges were vanished or stopped. Okay. Now, the John Locke and Immanuel Kant. John Locke is the English philosopher, and Immanuel Kant, both two important philosophers who belong to this type of equality. Okay. So here we understood formal equality. Now, the second point is equality of opportunity. In equality of opportunity, it means that the removal of all obstacles or barriers that prevent personal self-development. Equality of opportunity means, suppose here we need to remove all the obstacles or barriers that prevent personal self-development. Personal self-development means, suppose if there are 10 posts for a particular, but in an industry there are 10 posts. Okay. Now, for that 10 posts, men and women are equally eligible to apply. So here we need to provide equal opportunity for all peoples. He may be a male or she may be a female. So here we need to provide equality in opportunity in terms of employment to all our peoples. Okay, we cannot make a distinction or cannot make difference that these some of the employment opportunity are only reserved for male and these employment opportunity are not for women. Okay, in practice we have some such kind of differentiation, like when we talk equality of opportunity in defense services. In defense services, men and women are equally eligible to apply to get a job. But when we talk about fighting forces, like the soldiers who fight at the borders, or we can say the fighting stream, where the women in India are strictly prohibited, the women will play a service role, will play their role into service cadre. Okay, means in reality we have some we restricted some kind of opportunities for women, but in theoretical we need to provide equality of opportunity to everyone. Okay. Now, it means that careers should be open to talent according to this point of view, that is equality of opportunity. The careers should be open to talent and promotion should be given according to abilities. Okay. Now, here the status, family connections and social background and other similar factors must not allowed to intervene. Suppose when we provide equality of opportunity for job, we cannot see the family connection, status and social background. We need to only focus on the talent and his abilities. While providing equality of opportunity to the peoples, we focus on his talent and abilities. We do not focus on status, family connection and social background. Okay, so this is the main idea of equality of opportunity. Now we will see the next type, that is equality of outcomes. Now, what is done by equality of outcomes? Many defenders. Now, defenders means who support the concept of outcome. The peoples, the philosophers who support the concept of equality of outcome believes that the guarantee of all other equality would be inadequate so long as equality of outcome is not ensured. Means the guarantee we cannot, we guarantee means we can provide a guarantee of all other equality. When we get the guarantee of equality, so when we get equal outcome, then we can say it is the equality of outcome. Now take the example of equality outcome. Now peoples, men and women, are working on a same, say example, a person who is working as a professor in any university. So what is the salary of the professor? Suppose the salary of professor is 1.5 lakh per month. Now if it is a male professor, then he will get the same salary as a female professor. Okay, means outcome is salary per month. We cannot make difference between male professor and female professor. Okay, if we do it, then it is wrong. So here equality of outcome means we need to treat all peoples in terms of outcome. Now, but some criticism, or some peoples who are opposing the equality of outcomes are, according to Hayek, he was a famous philosopher. According to his opinion, for instance, people being a very different, have different aspirations and goals, and any system that treats them equally actually results in equality. Somewhere the system is treated all peoples equally, but finally the outcome is different. Outcome is different. So that is the drawback, or we can say the criticism raised by a philosopher Hayek. Okay.